It's time for Gardening Inside Out, a live show offering you plant advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Hey, welcome in everybody. It's Saturday morning. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for Gardening Inside Out. And what a day it's going to be gardening outside in particular. What a glorious morning. Get out there, pull those weeds, get everything cleaned up, because you're not going to get any better weather, are you, David?
You know what? For the approaching middle part of August, at least we're at the first third. It's spectacular. So let's just get right into it. What do you say? And we'll discuss. And Tyler, if you can get me up on the board there, then we'll look at exactly what we've got. Here we are at the weather station here at Base 64 degrees. That's just incredible. What a change it has been as we go through this transition towards fall, very fall, much more like fall conditions, particularly today and tomorrow. And of course, today is Saturday. It is the 10th of August, and we are going to see mostly sunny conditions, 84 degrees. That's just awesome. Just a few days ago, we were having a near 100 degree temperatures in the heat index indices well into the 100 and single digit range. A welcome reprieve indeed. 64 for the overnight low tomorrow, 85, 62. Wow, just continues to be a wonderful Monday. Partly cloudy conditions, 84, 66. A few more clouds and a little more warmth on Tuesday, 89, 70. 87, 71 with some morning showers on Wednesday. Thursday, 92, 75. The warm-up continues, but it gets tempered again towards the end of next week. 91 and 90 Friday and Saturday. As we currently see, let's take a look at the radar here, and you can see this is the remains up here in the upper right corner here of Debbie that really did major damage, major flooding, moved quite slowly as it moved through the Carolinas and up from there, and then it raced away. But not before it just dumped some unbelievable amounts of precipitation. So our thoughts are with those folks. We do know how it's been, and it's been a while for us. But you know the nature of the way extreme weather is anymore. It'll be occurring. Do you have some showers back out here in the Central Plains area, Panhandle of Texas, in there? So that'll be moving along, and that's some of our increased chance of precipitation. Let's look at we haven't really had any rainfall this week, so none for the week. So the numbers are unchanged. We're still holding at 34 1/3 inches thereabouts for the year to date here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And again, it's 64 degrees, or actually it's more like 68 degrees here in the Music City. So
I heard 40. I heard 40 trillion gallons of water fell from Little Debbie. 40 trillion.
Somebody got the calculator out and did some serious work on that.
That's a lot of swimming pools.
That's a lot. And you know what? And the bad thing is if you could spread that out over to all the areas that actually need it, it'd be just wonderful. But that's not the way it tends to work anymore. We either get none or we get way too much. So hopefully we can get some more moderate weather conditions, and the folks that are having to deal with all of that are having some success in weathering the storms, literally. So before we go further, I think we should mention the fact that the weather is a part of gardening, but it's not all there is, Josh. Obviously, when we have a plethora of experts here on our program to tackle the questions that each of you have, and that means you can write in, email us live during the show, or you can send them through social media connections. And we have all those we put out there on this site here, Gardening Inside Out, on YouTube and on Facebook. So check all that out. And without further ado, Caroline Gant and Austin Lowen, welcome in, guys. Great to see you this morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Yes, as always.
Across the way, Tyler Blankenship.
Tyler
Keeps
Cam,
us all
Tyler Cam.
live
Good
on
morning.
Instagram. And Tyler again is live this morning.
Great thumbs
Once
up.
again.
Not to be confused with the rest of us.
That's right.
Sure. Our status is unknown currently. So anyway, welcome in, guys. What's on your barometer? It looks like we look like a nursery again here at Bates Nursery, correct?
Yeah.
Do it's so exciting. Plants are coming in. Hot.
Yeah, we had a lot of trucks this week. Unloading fresh stuff. Y'all, we got fresh stuff. I mean, we still have the older stuff. Nothing wrong with that.
It still looks great.
Still looks great.
That fresh stuff is always just so exciting.
Yeah, and like we look full again, even though we're still not necessarily full. There's gaps here and there, but we look full and we look good.
Oh,
I'm
we
just saying
look
it, we look
great. I'd
good.
say better than good.
And for August,
I'd say amazing.
we're doing all right, y'all.
We are.
And what about this
Selection.
weather this morning for August? I was
had
cold.
a jacket on. when
I
we
had
walked
the
in.
heat on.
Josh pointed. What?
Yeah, I turned my heat on in my truck. Window down, my favorite. Window down, heat on my legs. Nothing better on
There
a
you
cool
go.
morning.
I feel like it wasn't that cold.
It was great. I
It
loved
was. It was. I was wearing a quilted coat,
I
jacket.
saw that. Yeah, you had a massive jacket on. You were
It
talking to me
wasn't-
about heat.
I was cozy. Had a big hood. But it's really nice. It's cooling off just a little bit this week, so I'm going to finally get out in my garden again.
And pull some weeds. That's boy, it's on the
Stare
on
at
the
them because I
agenda.
hate them.
I know.
Yeah, weed
Interesting how the
pulling.
change in temperatures affects each of us a little differently. Austin needs warmer legs, and Caroline needs
Warmer
more
arms.
warmth on the upper part of the body. So that's
Yeah.
we just roll the way we roll.
That's right.
So I'm convinced that there are a lot of folks who are curious about this. That got to be feeling that fall preemptive kind of a thing. It's really nice. And there's just no reason to not be getting out and digging in the dirt. So I'm
Nope.
certain that we've got a lot to discuss with regards to that.
We do. We've got quite a few questions, so let's go ahead and get in, unless anyone else has anything to say. I know Tyler's excited about pumpkin spice season.
I literally was just about to say that. Like, Tyler felt this weather in the 60s, and he's like, okay, it's fall time now. Where's my sweater and pumpkin spice?
And I do have to know,
Pumpkin
did you
spice
stop
season
for
is
that?
August 31st onward.
So we're
not
wait,
quite there.
Okay.
Almost
I was
there.
like, what is the date today?
Real American football starts today in Nashville, Tennessee, too, by
Okay.
the way.
It's another sign of fall.
So not
Yeah.
quite pumpkin spice, though.
Not quite.
No.
But you
quite,
know
Tyler.
what? Plant time, though.
Yeah.
So let's dive on in. Let's start with boxwoods, y'all.
Let's do it.
Something
Hey,
that you know.
I'm always up for it.
My boxwoods aren't looking great. When is the best time to prune?
When is it, Josh?
3:30.
Yes, it is.
Not necessarily with boxwood, Josh.
No.
Okay, so look,
Oh.
if you want to do some light pruning right now, you certainly can. Okay, just getting rid of some wild hairs, tidying it up a little bit, you can do that. Don't do any like major heavy pruning though right now, because you're gonna have to live with the rest of those cuts for the rest of the winter time. I mean, it's gonna look like that. Whatever you cut, it's gonna look like that pretty much until the spring flush. So I'm a big proponent of like a mid-February prune on boxwoods to get them back in check where you want them, and then whenever typically the start of April roughly comes along, then they'll flush and they'll look really nice.
Oh,
What
okay.
they do need is a
Someone was-
bunt. Go ahead.
Someone
David.
was thinking about pruning things hard. You really need to have that done by the early part of July. And because that new growth has to flush out and then harden off before frost comes. And particularly, it's not the case with boxwood, but for anything that might be a springtime flowering plant, the absolute latest. You can trim it. Many types of azaleas. Oh, there's a live shot.
Oh, David, where'd you
Oh,
go,
the Tyler
David?
Cam.
We're playing
What?
with David. So
It is spooky season coming up. So.
That's the AI.
So-
Okay.
Woo!
There you go, Tyler.
right. So, but all that said, I was going somewhere with this.
Get it done before July.
It's
Yeah.
clearly too late to be to be heavily trimming most things, boxwood included. You just don't have time for new growth to flush out properly. Light trimming for shaping only.
And cleaning up like
Yep.
maybe my across the street neighbors need to do. But,
Are you going to
Maybe
go
you
tell
should go
them that,
there.
Josh?
it's kind of
Are you
rude
gonna
to do.
go
Isn't
over
that
and knock on the
rude?
door?
It's kind of rude.
Yeah, it's kind of rude.
If my neighbors did that, I would be furious.
Oh, I would
Yeah.
too.
Oh, I could imagine how mad you'd be.
Don't even. Luckily, neighbors can't see my stuff. So
Neighbors can see mine, but they're far away.
Right on the front of the house, too.
Some people just don't care.
Yeah, I know.
And
It's
good
okay.
for them.
That's
Mad
good.
respect if you just don't care about it. I don't know how people do it. So our next question, I feel like we got into a little bit of a debate last year about this. So
What's
it's
that?
coming back around.
Oh, gosh.
Hydrangeas.
Oh, yeah.
Do I need to cut off the old blooms? I say no. Well, you never need to, but I
No.
leave mine because I like how it looks. You, on the other hand.
no, I can't stand it. Me and Josh are in the same boat on this one.
And me and David are in the same boat. We don't know what boat Tyler's in, but it's live.
Tyler.
I'm in the live boat. Yeah.
Tyler, came and tell us.
I leave them on.
Okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
You leave them on your oak leaf, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's
Just let them get brown and crispy.
5 hosts on Gardening Inside Out leave hydrangea flowers on.
on. I really like the look of them as they, dry out and then sit there when they have snow on them. Oh my gosh, so
Well,
cute.
if you have a severely wet season, it can be problematic because they can rot and get funky looking. But if you're not having that, leaving them on, they really have a wonderful, persistent look to them. I don't think there's a downside to leaving them on. So.
No, it's not bad for it. And one thing that I discovered this spring, so yeah, a couple months ago, if you leave them up and they get really dry, they're really fun to light on fire.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
That is true. I've done that.
Then it just
Oh.
burns. It's like a flash. It burns really, really fast, and then it's gone. So,
Oh, if you toilet papered their yard across the street, that's got that. Oh, yeah. Okay.
why would you toilet paper your neighbor's yard across the street?
That's
That's going to
quite
make
the
it
jump.
even worse.
Well, what
Josh.
you do is that's the best way to get rid of the toilet paper out of the trees is to set it on fire, isn't it, David?
Are you going to set your trees on fire?
No, not my trees. I'm not
I
going to
have
toilet paper
firsthand
my-
knowledge of that, Josh, because I have never done that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, never rolled a house before.
Right.
Neither have
I
I.
have spent 8 days in Vanderbilt Burn Center, so
that's
there's
Oh.
that.
There's that.
That's not
Can't say I
fun.
have no burning experience, but it's been a while.
What a little poof. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be.
Well, I have learned so much.
So much right now. But yeah, if you leave those blooms up, I cut mine off first just so I don't burn my plant down on accident, even though I don't think that would happen. But it's fun. I actually stuck them in a
Great
row
tinder. I
in my
can see.
yard and just set them all on fire one time. It was great to see. I think I got a video. Maybe I'll bring it up next week. All right, speaking of dead stuff that's, spent, someone asked, best way to dispose of piles of earth, grass, and dead shrubs.
Well,
I park by the street in Smyrna because they pick them up and take them away.
I do
Yeah.
not have that.
I don't either, but we've got the woods. I mean,
We've got the woods.
I just throw my stuff
I pile
in the
my
woods.
stuff up. I've got a brush pile.
I think there's also too those in some areas you have to put them in those brown bags, right?
Yes.
And then put those out by the road.
Leaves, if you and again in the 37167, you put leaves in a biodegradable bag. But if you've got limbs and stuff without roots, by the way, they'll tell you don't put any roots out there. They don't really like the dirt, but limbs and garden waste, yeah.
One of the things that I think is a good product, they are home version of these, grinders.
Mm-hmm.
We can allow you to grind small brush and that kind of thing up. And if you're into composting, it's really worth having one of those because you can reduce the, the lignin rich, and that's all the stems and all from shrubs and that small branches. You can grind that up into a smaller particulate size, and then it breaks down a lot faster. So
Great Mother's Day gift.
Yeah, I have been wanting one of those.
Shred it.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
A shredder. Hey, Kathy on the Bates Facebook page.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Says, I leave them on also. So we've got one vote for leaving up those blooms. Austin looks a little annoyed.
Just
I'm not annoyed.
You gave me a
do
look.
you,
He
boo.
gave me a look.
just not tidy enough for
there's
one.
just
He is a tidy
some plants you
gardener.
want to snip the blooms. Hydrangeas to me, no.
I actually still have my Incredible blooms still on the plant, okay?
What?
I have not cut mine off yet.
How do they look?
Well, they still look pretty good. They're not in that total brown phase yet. They're still working through their stuff, They're
They're
going
working through their
it.
feelings,
They
Well,
are.
it does. It makes me sad to see them on there. I mean, and honestly, it's just kind of.
What? It makes you sad to see them
Well,
on
I mean,
there?
they look dead.
That's what a lot of people say. Yeah,
Yeah.
They'll say. I mean, I get that question a lot from guests. They'll come in and they'll be like, "My hydrangeas are dead. What did I do wrong?" And I look at them and it's just the blooms that are
Right.
dead, not the
I
leaves.
love a sleeping dormant garden. I love it when they start to go to bed for the winter. I'm
I
a
like
fan
that
of it.
too, but that's leaves and everything.
Yeah, but the blooms
Not
go
just the
first.
bloom.
We found the
Beauty
next
doesn't
great
last
debate.
forever, as we all know.
Well, everyone else, let us know. You cut them, you leave them. Let us know.
We'll put a poll up a little bit later on our
Just the blooms
Instagram.
give you hope for spring.
Yes.
To let you know that there's something forthcoming. So, I'm in favor of not cutting them off before you need to cut them off.
Yeah.
You don't need to cut them off that early. So
Yeah. All right.
everybody does what they want to do.
Let's go to our next question.
Your yard, man. You do what you want to.
That's right.
Outdoor potted plant that doesn't need to come inside during the winter. Yeah, so many.
So many.
I mean, my favorite that I talk about all the time is Japanese plum yew. That's my go-to outdoor shade potted plant.
Yeah, you love that plant. And it does kind of depend on if you have shade or sun. We kind of would like to know that first. But there's a ton of evergreen shrubs for the shade and for the sun that can literally live in pots.
What would
y'all.
you do?
Well, you know what I would do?
Boxwood.
Yes, I do boxwood.
Duh, Caroline.
I ain't got to water boxwood hardly at all through the wintertime.
I feel like you'd have to through the wintertime, yeah.
Yeah, no, not right now. I mean, I'm waiting a little while, but then once I get it in the, I'm a big proponent. If I was fancy, which I am, but if I had enough money, I would go with a very
You're
fancy,
so fancy.
topiary boxwood, maybe a 3-ball scenario, and then I'd underplant it
With white
with
petunias.
pansies.
White pansy.
over the wintertime.
Well,
Gotta remember, we're going into the pansy season.
that's true.
But I'd probably do white and...
You need to level up your fanciness and get there.
I'm not there yet. It's August. It's early August, okay?
No, I'm saying you need to get those boxwoods in some pots.
Well, help me out. Go halvesies.
No, absolutely not.
I ain't got no money for a 3-ball boxwood.
I got too many
God, they're
plants I want.
fancy and expensive. I love them. I love them.
All right,
gosh.
somebody help Austin. Get him some fancy stuff.
Yeah, all y'all make another poll for people that can give money.
Maybe Austin should have a Boxwood Patreon page.
Oh, that's a great idea. And for certain amounts donated, they get something.
Okay,
Like a
I'm
sticker with
for
your
it.
face
A
on
sticker.
it.
We do
Yeah.
have
Oh, yeah,
Worth
zoom
of
into
Growth
Josh.
stickers.
I do have plenty of
Josh's mug.
stickers.
Oh, he put it down.
Hold on. Sorry.
Zoom it in there.
Camera
Live-
action.
Live Tyler.
Tyler,
There we
Carolyn.
go.
There
It's
we are.
worth
Yeah.
a grow.
Made me stickers.
We did make you
Yep.
stickers for Christmas last year.
I know. It was a
We
great
did it.
gift. Thank you.
You're
we still have a
welcome.
lot. If y'all want a sticker, come out. I'll put it on you. On your shoulder or
I'll
something.
put that
Look
sticker
at that.
For a
on.
dollar.
Applied by Austin himself.
Yeah, I'll slap it on there.
Slap it on
Autographs
there.
are $5 though.
Oh my gosh, we
Yeah.
need black and white headshots of everybody.
Oh, gosh. I don't
All
want
right,
that.
we'll have a photographer come in next week. Next question. How do I get rid of common ivy? I swear it comes from under the house. Am
No
I stuck with
kidding.
it forever? Probably.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're stuck with
So
it. I
sorry.
mean, it does. I mean, it'll go under the ground. It'll pop up in the cracks of places. Like, it gets everywhere, man. Like, there's not a great way to deal with it besides literally hand pulling, excavating it, Hire
Slow
somebody to come out with a
disease,
machine or something. If you can get a machine in there, a skid steer or whatever, get in there and really get it deep, you can probably get rid of it. But the problem is a lot of times it's close to your home or up underneath a little tree or something, Like, it's just a tough plant to get rid of. Now, what you could do is just embrace it. Just embrace it.
It's
I mean,
gonna eat
control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to keep it controlled, but let it do what it does,
Give it
which
a
is
patch.
covers the earth. Hey, it keeps weeds from coming in.
That's a good point.
I mean, my mother-in-law has ivy at her house up underneath a tree and around a bed, and she does. She pulls it a lot. Don't get me wrong. Her husband, my father-in-law, weed eat it on the edges to keep it at bay. But there is no weeds in that bed. It is a mass of green ivy, which honestly,
Probably
hey,
pretty.
It's pretty.
It's very pretty.
Is it
you gonna
growing
do?
up the tree?
It does grow up the tree. She has to pull it off.
Yeah.
Of it. I mean, it's work. Gardening's work. It depends on how tidy you want to be, but it's work.
But from under the house, so she's got it close.
It'll do. Yeah.
It may be coming from the other side of the house, going all the way through
It-
the crawl space
Going
and coming
underneath.
out.
It literally can.
Yes.
I've got Virginia creeper, or did on the side of my home, that would get up in the siding, and it would fit through the siding,
Absolutely.
and then
it
find
will.
a way out. It was
Yeah,
cool.
I've got that everywhere.
Gets nice
Everywhere.
and warm in the daytime, and then it condenses, and it gets a little water from the inside because we live in a mixed humid climate. That's easy for me to say.
Yeah.
So it will, and it will pull the siding off of a home,
Nobody
crazy.
wants that. That'd be pretty
especially
bad.
vinyl.
Speaking of homes, suggestions for trees that have shallow root systems that can be planted close to my home.
The number one that comes to mind right off the rip is arborvitae. I mean, it's an evergreen. Emerald green arborvitae, one of our best-selling plants. It's to me, overused a little bit, but honestly, it's got a very shallow root system. It does not get crazy tall. It stays thin, and it can be planted on the corner of a home, just easy. So, I mean, like I said, when you said shallow root system, my brain immediately went to arborvitae. Now, if you're going to do this, especially if you're going to do it now, do know a shallow root system means they don't seek their own water very well. So you really got to water for those typically first 2 to even 3 seasons and then even if it's 7 to 10 years old, if we have some sort of period of drought that's not good, like you have to water even in a very established arborvitae. So just know that with a shallower root system, you're going to have to do that more. What'd you say, David?
He said they never get to a point where you don't have to be concerned about them during drought kind of conditions because of just what you said. The root system probably doesn't go much below a foot deep. And if you know you're in extended drought conditions and you're not watering them, was it last year or the year before?
Year before, yep. They did a news story on it.
Oh my gosh. It was, people were just, they mistakenly go on autopilot. You cannot go on autopilot. You must continue to be mindful of those in particular, and they are widely in use. I'm kind of one of the people who got the whole make emerald arborvitaes into a hedge kind of a thing. Then someone else was in care of that hedge that I planted near the nursery, and it all died because of a drought. Yeah. So I get to exemplify all the things, how good a hedge it is, and then someone else demonstrated how easily it can die if you don't water it.
But one thing that might help in these situations where you can't possibly just anticipate every single thing, I would probably start with something. Is that soil conditions need to be as good as they can possibly be, Josh. Oh.
And when we're planting anything, the one thing you can do something about is the quality of the soil and the preparation you do thereof, and that's where Earth Mix Garden Products comes in. If you're planting anything, be it tree, shrub, ground cover, perennial, if it's tropical plants, indoors in containers or outdoors in containers, or if you just need to improve the soil you already have, there is an Earth Mix product specifically tailored for that purpose. Whether you're talking about Earth Mix Landscape, if this is the premium first choice for soil amendment, if you're planting anything, there's really nothing you can't use in the outdoor environment that Landscape will not greatly benefit. It not only has enough porosity to help root systems be able to get in there, it also has a sufficient amount of organic material to allow something for those roots to grab nutrition from and to actually improve their ability to be able to become established in a really short order. So check out Earth Mix Landscape at any of the fine locations we'll talk about here in a second. If you're doing indoor plants, and that would be Caroline's area of expertise, and where she really comes in strongly is Proganics Eye. And the good thing about Proganics Eye, as with all Earth Mix products, they do not have peat in them. And when you don't use peat moss, we use coconut coir. And coconut coir is not an attractant to fungus gnats. And if you've ever gotten those, that they're not harmful, but they are a nuisance. So if you don't want those things, use Proganics Eye and you won't have them. So the next thing is to think about is, where are all these products available? And if you go over to our website at earthmix.net, it's very easy to find. There's a products tab that lists the entire lineup of products. If you want to find out where to get Earth Mix, go to the Find Earth Mix tab, and the map will magically pop up there, and you see all the pins all over the area, from all the way out in Idaho, all the way east into North Carolina, south down to Huntsville, Alabama, Killen, Alabama, and all over Tennessee and Kentucky. Simply put your address in for turn-by-turn directions to a location nearest you, or you can simply zoom in to the map and you'll be able to see that there are a lot.
Nobody in Wichita yet, though, but that's okay. They're growing.
Yeah. The network is ever expanding, particularly in Middle Tennessee. Wow. You will see there are great many. So check that out at earthmix.net. Just remember this. Success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products. And we appreciate you giving us a moment to talk about that and to help take the work out of your gardening. You know, gardening doesn't have to be an arduous thing, and it shouldn't be something that everything that can be done to eliminate the difficult aspects of it should be done. And that's what Earth Mix is all about. So thank you for giving us a moment to talk about that and to help you in your gardening efforts.
Oh boy. Yep.
Wonderful.
And if your garden center doesn't have it, send them to the Earth Mix site because they can make an inquiry and join the family. So easy peasy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get some Earth Mix.
You do. Why would you need Earth Mix?
Well,
other than the reasons David talked about.
Yeah.
But are you going to be planting some flowers that are
I'll put
colorful?
boxwoods and
things that are
white pansies.
Yeah. Oh, so you're finally doing your fancy.
I'll be doing my mix
Tokyo.
container soon. Yes, I am.
But what I'm talking about is what's going on everywhere.
What's in bloom with Austin?
All right, y'all, here we go.
It's
I'm going to
happening.
start with some annuals, and specifically some annuals that love the hot August weather, okay? You know what's beautiful right now? I was getting to that, but no, not first. Celosia, y'all, celosia. Pretty much a perennial. Like, comes back from seed every year. The red leaf one with the red blooms atop. Money right now. Vinca just loves it. Just loves it. Like Caroline said, Lantana loves this hot weather going off. If you got some shade, begonias, they love the heat. They don't love the sun all much, you know, like all day, but they surely love the heat. Hey, shout out to the Florida people who grow pentas like crazy. The hummingbirds, y'all. Hummingbird season is upon us, and they love pentas. Check those out. All right, moving on. Perennials, Coreopsis still going crazy. Saw a picture just the other day of those. Your Black-Eyed Susan still going.
Thank you.
Phlox is barely holding on, but it's still doing its thing. The coneflowers also out there. We did a mixed plethora of coneflowers. Caroline will tell you all about that here in a little while. Blanket flower, that nasty little plant I don't really like.
I love it.
You
called
wanted
it nasty.
You wanted to bring some in here yesterday, and I was
You
like,
hurt
nah.
its feelings.
Well, one thing we did bring in here today, though, is the old Stokesia. Something you love, Stokes aster as a common name. And yeah, that's a pretty plant. I might need some of that in my life. Okay. Shady stuff. The hostas are blooming, and the turtle heads are still blooming. Caroline, thank you for that, because I forgot about turtle heads. Still going. Still looking good. Canna lilies, they're still throwing blooms. My gosh, that's been forever. Hey, this is random, but ageratum. What you know about ageratum? That's that little blue flower. We sell it as an annual in the spring, but it's also kind of a wild weed around here.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
It's that really soft blue. People call it blue mist flower.
Yep.
Oh, the blue mist. Hey, Tyler, get ready for that and throw it up on the screen.
Oh, no.
Who is this again?
Emily Boyd.
Emily Boyd. Emily, what is up with you? I see what you're doing. You're growing like, only the best vine on the planet. Tyler.
A crossfire?
There it is.
Wow, look at that bloom.
Yes.
Okay, that is stunning.
Told you, I grow the same one at the house, and yeah, it's still blooming. Emily, good work. I'm proud of you for doing that. Thank you for the picture.
Yes.
Oh, yes. What a great
Yeah,
pic.
that's
Beautiful
gorgeous.
color. Beautiful color. Okay. It's still hydrangea season, specifically the paniculatas, y'all. Hey, big white blooms. They're flopping a little, but not that bad, really.
Nope.
It's been pretty good, actually. We haven't had rain all week, so they're standing up tall. Oh, Limelight being the most popular. Still going.
Oh, mine are
Pure.
gorgeous right now.
Most of the rest of them are pretty well done, but hey, paniculatas still going. Bridge, your grass is still swaying in the breeze. We even brought some in here. Bridge, love you.
My blue stems are about to bloom. They're so close and they look
Okay.
great.
That good native. Bridge would love you for that.
Oh, she would, and she does.
She does. Okay. Let's go to them trees, y'all. Crepe myrtle season still upon us. Still going great. You know it. Rosa Sharon, the hibiscus, still going. Mimosas. Mimosas are funny. It's like some of them are done and then some of them are full show.
Yep.
I don't know. They're weird, but whatever. Those are the trees.
they're
That's all
great.
I got for trees right now. Hey, the natives. Shout out again, Bridge. You love your natives too. Goldenrod just happened this week. The yellow, looking good, getting tall. Ironweed, the purple. Joe Pie weed.
There you go.
And milkweed still throwing. I saw some orange out in the field the other day. Couldn't even believe it. I'm like, dang, milkweed. You're
Mine's going
awesome.
strong.
Hey, surprise. Your surprise lily's still going off. Those are still that soft pink and beautiful. Morning Glory. Still see some of that going on.
Gross.
Nightshade. My daughter picked a nightshade bloom. I don't know what. I just call it nightshade. It kind of looks like eggplant, but it blooms like a moonflower at
I
night.
know what you're talking about.
Yes, everybody knows the old nightshade. It's got thorns on it. That's still going off. And last but not least, Hyacinth bean. Hey, what about an annual vine that looks awesome? Tyler, get ready for the button because we're done. Do it, Tyler. Yeah.
What? That was amazing.
There you go. That's what's in bloom. Thanks for
Pedal
my
Fairy
spot.
left you. Wow.
Wow.
I am impressed. All over my laptop.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
All in your coffee, I think. I even made
No,
it-
you missed
Good.
my coffee.
Good,
Thank you for
Wow.
having such a good aim that you did not
Yes.
get it in my drink.
Yeah.
That
There
was
you go.
great.
All right, cool.
And that clematis photo
Very
was
cool.
amazing.
Very nice.
That was gorgeous.
Yes, it
So,
was.
who was that? Emily
Emily.
Boyd?
Emily Boyd.
Emily Boy.
Good work, Emily Boyd.
Thanks for emailing that. You can email us all kinds of stuff, y'all.
At
Where do we
Gardening
send it?
Inside Out
At gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Here it is.
Name of the show at gmail.com.
And you know, whenever I talk to guests that come out and that actually watch us on the show, and thank you all for this so much. Without your questions and you listening, we wouldn't be able to do it. And we have fun out here. But one of the biggest things they ask for is that, like, we want more pictures. So look, y'all, if you've got pretty pictures of your yard, pretty hydrangeas, pretty trees, whatever you got, send them in. We'll probably feature them.
And given that the photographs are largely of your landscape, we strongly recommend that you take the photographs in landscape perspective. That means it's wide and not tall, not
Sideways.
portrait.
Sideways, not.
And it does a lot better on our program
Yes.
because although the quality of the photograph was really nice on the clematis that was shown, it was in a portrait mode, so it had to be cropped down, so it can get a little bit grainy. So we get a lot better view if you can send them in landscape mode for your landscape.
For your landscape.
Makes sense. I didn't even know there was a landscape mode. That's
Well,
what
it's just turning your phone to
Oh,
the
that's
side.
what. Okay. I thought I had to click a button, and I'm like, I've never seen
For
that button.
plants and landscaping.
Okay,
Here we
got
go.
it. All right.
Yep. That's what I did.
You just
So-
turn your hat around backwards, Austin. Landscape mode.
Okay,
Let's
that's how it
go.
works. I get it now.
Okay.
Thanks, Tyler.
Oh, that got
No
me.
problem.
Tyler helps me with all my tech stuff.
He does, like opening your email and such.
Stop.
All right, we got some live questions in this morning.
Goodness.
First one comes from Kelly. Good morning. Will Edgeworthia tolerate shade once it's established? I would love to add this to my garden, and I see that there are 2 available on the Bates website, which looks amazing. We do have a new website that was revealed just a couple days ago. It's very user-friendly, very gorgeous. Good work, Tyler,
David,
Paula,
yeah.
Rachel, Mary,
Mary,
everybody.
We'll talk about it in the Bates segment later. Can't
Working
wait.
behind the scenes. But I would say yes. I have an Edgeworthia that I planted in the shade this spring, and mine's doing great. And I think I talked about it last week. We had a question about this plant. I had set it in a spot to see if it would do well, and that spot was getting not a ton of direct sunlight, but enough to make the plant stressed. And once I put it on the north side of my house, which does not get any direct sun, it took off, and the leaves are a lot bigger and more green and healthier. So I would say it'd be fine.
Oh, it's a classic understory plant. I mean, it really is. So yeah, totally fine with some shade. I would say it's like a lot of things though. Like I talked to a grower at a Maple Valley down in Alabama, and we had talked about azaleas, and he grows his deciduous azaleas in full sun. But he told me this. He said, "Look, I grow them in full sun because I like them better there." He said, "But they are thirsty when they're in full sun." So I think Edgeworthia would probably be similar if you got it in a spot that was a little bit too sunny, and it would probably be a lot thirstier. In the shade, it'll probably just be less stressed out and just kind of chilling.
Just do its thing. Yeah. I'm a big fan
I
of
say
that
go
plant.
for it. Edgeworthia is cool.
It's a very cool plant that you don't see really often, and it blooms so early. It's kind of like the hellebore of the shrubs.
Yeah, it smells
bloomer.
fantastic.
Yes.
Oh,
Cute
so
little
good.
clusters. And then Joyce, coming back around to our hydrangea discussion that we had this morning, says, leave them, squirrels use them for bedding. Cute.
I ain't trying to give those squirrels a bed.
I am. I would love to give all the squirrels a bed.
Aw, them
And that is a
squirrels are
good
annoying
point.
me.
I leave up all of my spent flower blooms. I wait to cut everything back because those little birds
Birdies,
want those,
yeah.
eat stuff in the winter, and then, what were you going to say? Insects make it a home.
Why do we want to
Better
harbor
bedding for
insects
squirrels.
in squirrels? Yo, birds are one thing. I get it. Birds are cool. Okay, squirrels, no.
Tree
They're not
rats.
going to come out and
Tree rats
Yeah,
they
they're going
are.
to come steal my tomatoes, and then I'm going to
Yes.
provide them with a bed.
Maybe
No.
maybe they wouldn't steal your stuff if you did provide them with a bed.
No.
Maybe they'd be like, thank you, we'll protect your garden.
Negative.
No.
I beg to differ.
Squirrel beds. Them squirrels are getting my tomatoes this year, y'all. Oh,
They're not getting mine.
Stink bugs
Probably
are getting
because I
mine.
gave them beds.
I don't like stink bugs.
Nobody
no,
does, Josh.
Gosh almighty. They're
Especially when they start to come in your home in the wintertime. Yuck.
I will say, other than my cucumbers, which was not a critter that took those, I've only lost one tomato to a critter this year. Everything else is doing just fine. It's probably because I left my hydrangea blooms up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Through the winter
You gave your squirrels
to house
beds.
little creatures. All right, let's get off this topic. It's getting
Okay.
too heated. Jill asks, how long can boxwood stay in planter pots?
Jill forever. Forever and ever, amen.
Jill all right, Randy Travis.
Yeah.
Bringing it back around.
No, but honestly, seriously, for a long time. I mean, if you kind of replenish every spring with some good nutrients, some supernatural compost on top, never hurts. And then, don't keep them too wet. That's the biggest killer of boxwoods. If you start to, you've had them for a while and they start to just get that off color and they're kind of that yellowish-ish color, like that's a sign of overwatering typically. So as long as you're good about that, then boxwoods can stay in a pot for a very long time. Their roots are not like crazy.
Here's one caveat to that, Austin. I will, just for a moment of clarification, as a general watering practice, what you're saying is correct. However, because they're in pots and they're in an above ground situation, and Josh, I don't know if you've got any in pots at your house or not, but whether it's boxwood or other things, just prior to severe cold weather, and this is the most counterintuitive thing in gardening, you must go out there and thoroughly soak them. And what the issue is that you're trying to fill the pore space that's in the soil with water. And that makes it much more insulated so that you are more resistant to the ravages of cold weather. But that's not to say you need to keep them that way all the time. It's only in the time just preceding and immediately following severe type of freeze. So what Austin said is correct, but what I'm also suggesting is correct. And if you want to make sure they last throughout the year, you need to be mindful that there could be a little bit of extra action you need to take during these severe cold spells. So just think about that. Your root system is totally above ground. You're going to lose effectively 2 plant hardiness zones. So if it's a zone 5 plant, which a lot of cultivars or boxwoods could be, you could be susceptible to freeze damage in a zone 7 environment, which is where we are. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take care of the Isley Brothers band that I put in.
Mine are doing great. You have the whipcords, right?
Yeah, I got whipcords.
I've got 2 whipcords, and those are loving being in pots.
Yes, they are.
I put a Mugo pine in a pot last fall and 2 whipcords, and the Mugo pine died at the end of winter, made it all the way through the end, and then just bit the dust. But my whipcords are looking great.
it.
They're not stressed at all. Can't wait to see what they're going to look like in 5 years if they make it. All right, we've got a question from Lynn on YouTube. It says, good morning. Thanks for this educational live show. I have a question for the panel. How can I prevent my neighbor's stray cats from using my lawn as their litter box? That's a good question because I don't know the answer.
Gosh, what do you do with cats? Like, they do what they want.
Well, are we in the grass or are we in the garden beds? That's the question.
about to
Probably in
say.
the garden bed.
Probably in the garden beds. Now, they have been known to not like having little sharp things on their feet. So if you take plastic forks, I've seen those used and put them around there.
It looks so great in the
Yeah,
garden.
they're gorgeous.
Also.
You can get the black ones or the white ones and maybe the red ones and let them go. The clear ones are okay.
I would take a spray bottle with a well diluted ammonia and put it on a straight stream. It's hide behind something. When they come in there, just give them a shot.
Well, and paintball guns are good.
People
BB
try
guns.
to break their habit, and maybe they'll go elsewhere. But it comes down to, it's not the cat's fault.
No.
It's the owner who is failing to monitor where their cat's going. And I love it when people walk by the house with their dog on a leash and allow them to go up into the yard far enough, urinate on a boxwood.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
You mean the dogwoods?
They've got
Austin's
them
mad
where they
about
cook
that.
it, and we put little signs out there, and People don't read signs.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Signs everywhere is a sign.
No,
I would probably.
it's an ongoing issue. There are repellents that do a good job, but every time it rains, you have to reapply.
Right, predator urines, but yeah, and you just got to kind of deter them. You squirt them, and just make them, because cats are going to look at you and go, "Come on, man!"
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kidding?
They don't care.
You're not going to be out there
They're
at
gonna do
3
whatever they
o'clock in
want.
the morning. So.
Cats.
So that is a tricky
love
one. I
cats.
think that's what I do too. My cats they came from here and they are great and amazing.
Where here?
From Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
Oh.
What? Yep, they did. They're nursery
not,
cats.
They're not for sale.
They
though.
weren't plants. I did not buy them on the lot.
No.
Unfortunately. Well, why would we be selling
They're
plants?
quite
Why did I say that?
Quite perennial, though.
They are. They
Yes.
come back every year. Hmm.
I want everyone to understand, we're not advocating mistreating animals.
No.
Anyway, that is certainly not
No.
the case.
no.
But there's got to be a happy balance between taking care of the things that you work in your garden and not letting others run roughshod over you. So gentle reminders
Yes.
are at times necessary. And one of the best gentle reminders in gardening is the Bates Nursery website. You see it right here, and it's totally redone. And as we mentioned just a few moments ago, Tyler and Rachel and Mary and others have been working tirelessly to upgrade the website, and it has quite an extraordinarily wonderful new look to it.
It does.
There's the newsletter sign up. I do a newsletter every week. Those of you who are regular watchers probably get that. If you want to receive it, you can sign up right there. And if you decide you don't want it at some point, you can unsubscribe. So we don't share your information with anyone. And I put all kinds of pertinent things in there, such as this week for our Bates Rewards members, which is what we call our folks who are kind enough to do business with us. We're having a sale on all plants, 25% off. All plants.
Wow.
And you say, what about trees? Well, a tree is a plant.
Yep.
So yes, all trees. What about tropicals? Well, those are plants too.
Ooh.
It includes those. Well, what about if it's growing, it's a plant and it's 25% off. So you need to get on in here, and today will be a great day to do it because the weather is just fantastic.
Gorgeous.
We also pride ourselves in giving education. Our Bates Botanical Boot Camp really goes out into depth in a wide variety of areas. I mean, there's almost no topic we haven't covered. I think we're approaching a couple of hundred different long-term, long-form videos on there. Caroline and Austin are featured on many, as is Tyler, and just check them out. There's answers in length to many things. If you want to see what we've got on hand, there's our browse by category. We talked about natives just a minute ago. There's our little natives tab right there. When you pull that up, you'll see that we have a great many natives. Matter of fact, we have more natives maybe than places that really build themselves as a natives nursery. That doesn't diminish what anybody else has done, but you need to know that if you're interested in natives, Bates Nursery and Garden Center has you covered. And once I finally get to the bottom of this page, and as I scroll down carefully, there's 6 tabs here. There's 347 items there that are all available that are native. So I'm not going to attempt to browse through them because we're not going to give that kind of time to this. So check that out along with all the other things we have at batesnursery.com on our website. Check out all the great new things, and just want to remind you that we've been beautifying Nashville since 1932, and there is an upcoming event happens in August of every year. It's called Best of Nashville, and the Nashville Scene puts that on. And if you get the newsletter, I'll put some links in there. We really would appreciate your support in voting us. We have been voted the best nursery and garden center in Nashville 20 times, which we do not take lightly. We really appreciate the support that everyone has given us. We also are asking votes for best podcast, which is this program right here. So we hope that you will consider that. You got to vote in 20 categories for your vote to count. So It's very quick and easy. The links are in the newsletter, and you can go to the blog post just down the page if you don't get the newsletter, and you can vote right there.
You can actually click on the slider, David, at the very top where it says read all about it.
Read all about it.
Read all
Right
about it.
about
Click on that, and there
And there
is
is, and the
blog
links
with
are
all the
right
links.
here down in the bottom of the newsletter, last paragraph there. So check that out, Bates at batesnursery.com. And again, check out the website. It's quite a refresh. And whether you're shopping in person or you're shopping online, it's all really great stuff. So check it out at batesnursery.com. And remember this, Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932. And we thank you for giving us a few minutes to talk about where we are, what we do, and how we're constantly striving. We don't just want your vote. We really work actively at being the best in Nashville. And I think if you come out and check out our facilities and what we have on hand,
Really.
expertise wise, and as far as plant material goes, that is really obvious. We have a target rich environment. When you got a facility the size we have, there's never any shortage of things to work on. And Caroline and Tyler and I have recently discussed that we have more things to attack than we have resources or time to do, but that doesn't keep us from trying. So we appreciate you coming out, see the entirely redone, incredibly smooth and very shoppable new paved area. It's a big step forward in the last year, and we've got more things coming up before the fall season arrives. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932, and we are open until 4 o'clock, 9 until 4, Monday through Saturday. So that includes today if you're watching live. We're closed on Sundays until fall, and the fall season is well on its way. So check it
it's
out,
almost here.
batesnursery.com.
Pumpkin spice, like Tyler said. Real quick, I do want to mention the podcast. So if you're watching and if you don't know much about the podcast or you haven't given it a listen, we do have links on Facebook, Instagram. It's available on all platforms. And what it is kind of a condensed version of this show, audio only, but we do have like a 10 to 15 minute intro every week where some of our members discuss what's going on in our garden beds and what's happening at the nursery. So if you miss us throughout the week, if you want to hang out with us while you're driving, then you can just pop that podcast on. And make sure you follow and review.
I want to interrupt for just a second, Josh. I want you to know that some of those members are not you and me.
That's right.
Okay.
Unless you want to come in and record the intro with us, which you're more than welcome to.
Our schedules unfortunately don't permit. We really appreciate the great job you guys do
Yes, it's
on putting that
wonderful.
together every week. And it's a very informative, we get great response out of it. So thank you for that. And Josh, thank you for staying away. It gives me an excuse to not be involved in it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right. Gives you a little break.
Blame it on me. Okay,
Partners
all
in
right,
crime.
here we go. All right. that's
But
good.
again, make sure you go give us a review, follow it, and give it a listen. I love podcasts. It's like hanging out with your friends whenever you want.
Very cool.
But I
all
also
about?
love other stuff that
What's in room with Caroline? Do you
that
love
is
that?
in this
Do
room
you love
right
that?
now. I love that so much. So we went kind of simple today. We got in, we've brought in a bunch of stuff to the nursery, and these grasses in front that you're seeing kind of stick up. I'm not going to talk about them just yet, but both Austin and I agreed we got to bring these in. But in the corners, we've got some spruce. Look at those. They're slender. They're going to
place
stay
up.
up through the year.
Dare I
got a
say
couple
columnar?
columnar spruce. Thank you, Tyler. I've got a couple different spruce in my landscaping, not affected by anything ever, it seems like, at least for me. They stayed up through the winter of 2022 and looked gorgeous the whole time. And then right next to it, we've got Grace and Grit roses from Monrovia. These are really cool. It's kind of a bicolor rose.
Oh,
Wow, look at Tyler go.
I've lost control.
We're going
Oh
down,
my
man.
goodness. Wow.
We're
That
back.
That was amazing. You took our viewers on a little ride.
Yeah.
But from far away,
I was trying to say
the
Monrovia.
the pink on the roses really pop because of the light pink inside. It's a really, really cool rose that catches my eye from across the lot every single time I see it. Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And then in front, we've got fountain grass. I think it's Cassian. So I think, Austin, we were talking about it yesterday, and you said this is probably the hardiest for us. So if you wanted to plant this one would have the best success rate. Maybe.
Yeah. Out of the fountain grasses, I mean, plenty of grasses are hardy, but out of the fountain grasses, yeah, it seems like most people have best success with the cultivar Cassian, which is what's in here.
I'm such a fan.
Like
and it
Cassian.
like clustered like that and all close and dense. It really looks good. It makes a beautiful screen for the echinacea, the coneflower that we've got behind it. And we brought in kind of one of each of what we have, just a sampling of all the different types of echinacea we've got in at the nursery right now. And there's so many other colors out there. We sell through it so fast. Bridget does such a good job keeping them all together.
Hiding out there, a little yellow,
A little orange right down in front. Yeah.
Yellowy.
And then there's a little,
so
there's little short ones, there's tall ones. We got the rocky top that we featured a couple weeks ago, right in the middle. Josh is showing off one of those short red ones. Tyler can't get over there, and that's okay.
Fire
Hold on.
Finch.
No, I can't. Sorry.
It can't
That's okay.
happen.
That's cool.
So
It's very nice.
echinacea, y'all, I have so many different types of echinacea, and I love it. And then on our feature, we've got Stokes Aster.
Yeah.
I talk about this a lot, and I don't think we've actually brought it in because it sells out so quickly when we get it in here at the nursery, and we
my
don't get it
goodness.
home. Tyler,
I'm so sorry.
we're on a roller coaster
The remote
today.
is not doing well today. My bad.
But
there
look
it
at
is.
those blooms. I absolutely love this plant. It's become one of my very favorite perennials. The flowers, they're so big and they close up at night and then they reopen in the morning, and that happens too if you take it in as a cut flower. It's a great cut flower that lasts a really long time, and you can watch it open and close.
There's 9 of them on this one plant right here.
Loaded.
This is something that if you don't have it in your bed and you're looking to add more perennials, it's very, very hardy. My leaves stayed up through the winter and actually looked really, really good. I have it in my kind of wild bed, but I am going to dig it up and transplant it to a more featured spot. Now that I know how it does, because I had no idea about
tall
this
does it
plant when
get?
I bought it. Not very
really?
tall. That's
Okay.
going to be as tall as it gets. At least in my experience, the blooms come up, the foliage stays about that height.
About 2 feet, right?
Yep.
Is it? I don't know. I'm bad with
22 inches.
It looks like 18 to 24 inches.
22 inches. There it is.
Good,
Josh.
healthy
There you go.
perennial range.
But y'all get some. But that's
Check
what we
me.
have in room. Simple, but very exciting today.
Very good.
Thank you. You too. You helped me with it this week.
No. I try to every week, but it doesn't always happen.
You said meow.
I'm just wondering,
Tyler.
on the
Yeah.
YouTube chat, James, where are you from? James Robert Dearman with the Army Worm question, where are you from? So that might help us get you.
Army
Oh,
worms.
yeah. So we'll give it a minute before we ask that question to see if we get a follow up. But Colin did say, first time growing milkweed. What are all the little reddish bugs on my milkweed? Also, there's tons of yellow dots on it. Are these eggs?
I need to see them, but I want to say that's a host for box elder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that
I
on
think-
mine every year.
They also have an aphid, don't they?
Yeah, it's an aphid.
Mine's an
It sounds
aphid
like
that
an
I get
aphid.
on mine.
Well, that's usually yellow, though, right?
The eggs are yellow,
Okay.
which he said, I think. He said yellow dots on it.
Tons of yellow dots.
That might be the
eggs.
the oleander aphid specifically is that bright yellow aphid that loves milkweed. That might be what's going on. Call, send us some pics, man. Come on, call.
Send some photos. Colin is on fire today, and Colin also says you got to pay the squirrel tax one
Yeah,
way or
buddy.
another, and I pay with squirrel beds.
I pay with tomatoes, apparently.
Squirrel beds and tomatoes, Tyler. They're
And the plum tax.
really
Figs. Figs, too.
and the
right,
blueberry
David?
tax.
coming at ya. And then we do have a couple comments about going back to the cat using their neighbor's lawn as a litter box. Stephanie said cats avoid citrus as well. Citrus pills thrown down will be a deterrent, which is great. And then Joyce says, buy a litter box and put it in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
Kind of a good idea.
Now, again, there's another thing that would occur to us: a humane trap. You catch him, and then you take him and you put him back on his porch, and then you just remind him that, there's not a leash law, but you can call the man.
No.
Yeah,
Stop.
stop.
Don't call the man on the cat.
Gotta watch for the neighborly
Call
threats.
Yeah. I love cats. All right. So James did say his parents' house, they live outside Huntsville, Alabama, the lawn that he's talking about. So outside of Huntsville, Alabama, and then back around to James' question about army worms. James says, army worms are attacking my parents' Bermuda grass lawn. What should they do to stop the attack?
I'm going to recommend you seek a turf professional. Now, if you are local here in Middle Tennessee, you could go to see our friends at the Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply people. And particularly up on top of Mount Juliet, don't you think, David? He could go talk to the King of Bermuda and the Prince of Potions, the one, the only
yes.
Drew Sullivan. So, because you're not going to mess around. Find an independent down that it takes care of golf courses, that kind of thing, because they will destroy your lawn.
Yeah, but
particularly warm season grasses, and they'll get in there and just they'll do a lot of damage. Well, actually, they're indiscriminate. They'll also hit pretty much everything. So they can be decidedly problematic. That is an area that is very, as you've already mentioned, it's a very specific to a industry. And while that's related to what we do, we don't deal with the day in and day out turf issues.
Right.
And there is always a lot of new products coming into the marketplace that give a greater safety to the user and to the environment, but yet provide sufficient lethality to the pest that you're trying to control. Much of it has to do, if you know you have an issue with it, is timing.
Right.
So I too concur with you. Check out the great folks over at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply.
Some of that stuff may be controlled use that you might need to use. So, I mean, it's heady too.
At least the greater caution being used with it. And so those are things that are very it's an industry specific, and we're not really in the turf industry. So really recommend you go see those folks and talk to them. They've got great information.
Yep.
Awesome. I know we have a photo, so I'm going to give Tyler a little moment to put it up while I go through the rest of the Facebook questions we got. Miriam says, when should my fig be setting fruit?
Miriam.
Mine's starting to set fruit. It's set a lot. It's just not ripe yet.
Mine are covered up.
Yeah. Mine's a good year.
Yeah, we've already taken in some.
Hundreds,
really?
many hundreds on mine. I would say 400 to 500 figs on mine. Now, again, they're slow to develop. When you have a heavy fruit set, it takes them a lot longer to develop and get of size. So you're going to be running right up against frost freezing weather.
Yep.
Yeah, mine are always late to the game because I'm up north. So I see a lot, but a lot don't ripen.
The brown turkeys
I know
are
it sounds crazy right now, but get some frost cloth ready because you're going to need that if you're going to try to get them to, you want them to be on that tree as long as possible. And again, the squirrel equation starts back in here because they will fight you for those things the minute they get ripe enough.
Speaking of squirrels, we did get a comment from Susan that says, fed my squirrels peanuts this morning. They leave my garden plants alone that way. Aww, and then sent a heart and a squirrel emoji. I had to get close. All right, so it looks like Tyler has this photo ready. So Donna sent this fantastic photo.
Hey, Donna.
Let's go ahead and get it up. Good morning, Donna.
Hey.
And Donna says, not always, where'd it go? Not always in bloom, but I've lost it. But it looks great. So I see some coleus
It's not always about the blooms, I think.
That's what it was.
Wow. That's true. And hey, I think in the back, Tyler, go up for a second. I think she used, is that fine line buckthorn? Did you do it, Donna?
Oh, looks like it.
It does look like it.
Man,
I
that's
love
beautiful.
that plant for a pot. It is so wispy. It's almost ferny. Oh, it does.
Cute.
People's biggest problem with it is that it does drop its leaves over the wintertime, so that's not necessarily fun. But
Put some little lights in it.
Look at the texture of that. Donna, great work buying that plant. Really.
And that coleus. That coleus is one of my favorites.
Just love coleus. And there's so many choices to choose from, and there's so many different color combinations. It's just a great underutilized plant.
Oh, absolutely.
David,
I think me and Josh both bought that goth coleus, the
yes.
black one. Mine are shrubs. Oh, she's got some black elephant ear and some secretion in there, and that euphorbia in there.
She packed it tight.
Donna, that's a tight pot.
You change the angle, and boom, there's more surprises.
I love it.
That is really great.
And a warning, by the way, folks, we're coming up towards the end here. So,
Josh, I'm sorry I can't get that up.
That's okay.
Did you send a picture?
I'll show y'all off the air. My figs.
Oh,
All right, we have a dahlia question before we run out of time. Dahlias are big, tall, and green, but hardly any flowers this year. Is it the heat? I normally have a lot of blooms.
It's probably not the heat. I mean, dahlia can really be fine in the heat as long as they have plenty of water. That y'all know how they are if you've grown them. It's in the full sun and heat. They're fairly thirsty creatures. You know, I don't know if there's too much nitrogen in the soil. We talk about that each and every week pretty much. If you have an excess of that, they'll produce a lot of green but not a lot of blooms. That would be my guess at the moment. But some years are just different than others, you know? Like some years they just really heavy bloomers. Some years they're just not all that much. And I don't have a great answer for it.
Well, that's okay. And then Donna did get back about her mixed container. She said that has been in that planter for years.
Wow.
Looking great.
Wow.
Incredible.
Looking fantastic. And then Joy says, what a lovely morning, sitting on my balcony, sipping coffee, and a hummingbird came to check out the echinacea I put in a Bates container.
Cool.
Yes.
Amazing. Beautiful.
Great.
Yeah.
They really like the blue pots too. If you have your plants in a blue pot, that really brings in the hummingbirds even more so than
Really?
anything else.
Oh, they love blue.
I've heard that, yeah.
Oh, that color blue of that Stokes aster, they go nuts over it.
I had a little hummingbird fly up to my sliding glass door. I was inside, just hover there right in front of my face for a good, I don't know, it was like 5 seconds, but it seemed like forever. It was great.
That's cool.
They do that to me
Beautiful.
all the time.
All right.
The hummingbirds, they will sit outside in flight outside the window and go, hey, you need to refill this.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. You know why hummingbirds hum,
Very
David?
intelligent little creatures. Hey, we have burned through an hour yet again. How fast was that?
An hour.
Well, it seemed a lot faster.
Well, it seems like an hour, but it's okay. You know why hummingbirds hum, David?
They don't know the word.
There you go. Okay, that's the kind of thing that you get here on Gardening Inside Out once in a while. But hey, folks, we do appreciate you joining us every Saturday morning. Go out to the web pages and the social media sites, like it, share it, tell everybody about it, so we can keep coming to you right here from the green room nursery, the green room here at the nursery, Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Hey, folks, be safe out there. Get out and dig in the dirt because it's going to be a great weekend here, particularly in Middle Tennessee. And we'll see you next Saturday morning right here on Gardening Inside Out TV.